This is the Playmakers Podcast, your source for local and nationwide hot topics in sports, giving you the Playmakers perspective on what's going down. You think of that real? You think of that Playmakers Podcast? We working.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the Playmakers Podcast. We are here with a very special interview. We're on Zoom today with a few of the Playmakers over at Canandaigua High School, along with Coach Welch. Hey guys, thanks for coming and being on this Zoom with us. We really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we're gonna jump right into it. Canandaigua, you guys been on a tremendous run. It's been really fun to watch. Even though we don't reach out to you guys or we haven't been in contact with you, we've been watching. And first of all, we gotta give it up to the coaching staff. We appreciate the style of football y'all play, making the adjustments and things that you do on the field and helping the players grow as football players is really what we're about. We love seeing it, and so great job to the coaching staff, Coach Welch and you guys. Kudos, hats off to you both.
Appreciate that.
Yep. But getting into it, I got to say something first. I got to go to the quarterback. We got, first of all, let's talk about the guys that we got here. We got Brian Boldrin. Brian, raise your hand for us. All right. Quarterbacks are always the laid back guys. I see you over there trying to tuck away. We got Elliot Jackson. Cool name, Jackson. I love it. And then we got Ryan Gravett, right? All right. Now, I'm going to start off with, of course, the guys that get all the credit, quarterback. We've been talking about you for quite some time this year. Is it true you have more touchdown passes than incompletions?
I don't know. I think
we've been doing our homework.
I think it's true. I think I saw the stat line today. I think that's the correct statement.
Yeah, I'm glad you don't know that, and we do, because it means that you're out there just doing your part. And but to have I don't think I've ever seen a stat like that, especially this late in the season. That's I don't know if it's the accuracy or if it's the play design, but that is an amazing stat. It's something that I, as a receiver, appreciate. But of course, you had to have some really good receivers out there to make all those grabs. And I'm always one of the guys. I have a little unspoken battle with quarterbacks because you guys get all the credit, but we got to run the routes and dodge the safeties and make the catch and do all that kind of stuff. But great job, man. That's a stat that I think is gonna be something that we're gonna talk about for a very long time. I hope you keep it going. Just keep throwing it, man. Keep spinning it.
Yeah.
All right. So staying with the quarterback. Let's talk about the offense and where you think this offense can take the team as far as your long-term goals. What's some things that you like most about the offense and let's know a little bit about it, without giving away any secrets, of course. We don't want Coach Welch hitting the button on us, cutting this thing off.
I guess what I like most and what I think will help prolong our success throughout the season is definitely like how dynamic we are. You don't know, we could hit underneath, over the top, and even run the ball. All of our receivers are really great at getting open, obviously, with the stat you just named. So just like I said, the versatility we have is really something that's deadly and is something that can keep defenses on their toes and help us a lot.
Yeah, and that's what the game is about. Coach Welch, of course, you keep the ball, you spread the ball around, you get your guys in the best position. But just talk a little bit about what your quarterback there just said. The way you guys spread the ball around, how you keep defenses on their heels. Talk a little bit about how the guys make that easy for you all.
Well, they make it easy because they're dynamic players. And the tough job is to not to keep them pleased because they're so unselfish, but to make sure that we get each guy their touch, and because they're so dynamic, and they have been for their whole lives, their whole careers. And just talking about Brian's progression as a quarterback, he's a starter on the first sectional championship team as a sophomore, where I would say the majority of the time we ran the ball. We ran some play action, and he was surrounded by some really good players. The next year, which was last year, similar, we opened up the offense a little bit more for him. And then this year he's really taken the reins. But when he's got 5, 6 guys around him that can score at any time, I would say he would say his job's pretty easy, probably pretty fun too. And from a coaching standpoint, it's a lot of fun. And we try to be as creative as we can, but really all the credit goes to these guys with their playmaking ability.
Yeah, and us watching the games as much as we can. As a coach, I've been around the game for quite some time and played in a bunch of offenses. It's got to be fun to see the guys develop, and also knowing that you can push the envelope with play calling and things like that because they're so smart and then they're so dynamic. So that's hats off to you guys, the players, for giving your coaches the ability to do all the different things that you can do. I'm going to jump over to the wide receiver, Elliot. Elliot, how many of those touchdowns receptions were you on the other end of?
I have no idea. No idea.
He doesn't know.
From everywhere. He scored. He had a block punt for a touchdown. He's had a couple of returns for touchdowns. He's had interceptions for touchdowns. So he scores in many different ways. So receiving one.
That's what I like to hear. So you're an all-around guy. You're listed as wide receiver, linebacker, but that's just what they put you down on paper as, right?
Right.
I like it. What year are you this year, Elliot?
I'm a senior.
Senior? How many are you guys? All seniors? What grade are you? All seniors? Oh, good stuff. So you guys are driving the bus. You're driving the bus. Good stuff, and leaving it to. So going in and I'm gonna switch over to Ryan. Ryan, raise your hand, Ryan, so people know who you are.
He's a Ryan.
Yeah. Ryan, you guys have last year's team, of course, you guys are the defending champs. You lost a bunch of pieces. You lost some big play guys. Just talk about how you guys managed to adjust after, those guys have, left the program in such good shape, and where you wanted to take off from there and going forward.
Well, like Coach and Bolden said, we have players all around that can score whenever. So, yeah.
Pretty much.
We had guys that were just waiting in the wings. We had a lot of playmakers last year. We didn't utilize a lot of these guys, even though we knew they had the ability. They waited their turn patiently, like good team guys do, and they've taken it to another level, honestly.
Yeah. And that's what it's about, man, especially, when you're in school and you'll see it in college once you guys make it to the next level. Waiting your turn is not a bad thing. It's something that's going to help you develop and then make sure you're on the top of your game when it is your turn. And then, like I said, you can drive the bus and take it to where it needs to go. We also have who else we didn't speak to yet. We have Brian, right? Brian, raise your hand.
We got Jackson. He doesn't want to speak, so make him speak.
Jackson, there we go. Yeah, you got to speak, man. You got one of the best names in the world. So Jackson, you are what position they got you listed as running back and linebacker. Is that correct?
No, wide receiver and corner.
That's what I thought. And you were on the end of a couple of those touchdown passes, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So just talk about, as a senior, one of the leaders on the team, what kind of emphasis do you guys put on bringing the younger guys up and making sure that when you guys do leave, that they know what the assignment is and they can take the reins when you guys take off?
Yeah, we just got to show them like a good example of like what they're supposed to be doing, and then staying in the weight room, going to all the off-season like workouts and stuff like that. stuff they should be doing anyway.
Absolutely. And that's where, championships are won. We here where I'm actually are now doing the interview. I'm at my indoor facility, training facility. We get a lot of guys and making sure that, because around here, not a lot of guys have the facilities to train in the off season. So we try to make sure that, when we do all these podcasts, we speak to all high school ball players and making sure that they understand how important the off season is, and getting the work in, making sure you're doing your part for your brother next to you, so that you guys are ready to hit the ground running when the season does start. Coach, going back over to you. We know you're returning champs, and you guys are on a roll right now. Just talk about how the guys have bought into the system from day one. I'm pretty sure that's the deal there, and how much that means to a program to be successful.
Sure. I mean, you just kind of touched on it. Starts in the weight room. It starts in the off season. It starts at the youth level. These guys all played together in our Frank Baker Youth League. I think some of them were on the same team. And they've been playing together since they were in 3rd, 4th grade, and then have been lifting since they were in 6th and 7th grade. And it's just it's the culture. They learned from guys that were older than them that kind of set the example, and now they're setting the example for the younger kids. A lot of time, a lot of effort, but you have to have kids that are willing to do that, willing to commit to that, because it's not easy. It's not easy. Being successful is not easy, no matter what you're doing. But when you have kids that want to do it, and then obviously kids with ability, that takes it to a whole nother level. So we're very fortunate to have kids that want to make that commitment, but also are very talented as well.
Now, you said something that's very, very important for a lot of high school football players to hear. And I hope that when they watch this podcast, they really listen to what you just said when you said it takes kids that want to do it. That's the biggest part. Coaches can set the schedule. They can have the weight room open. They can be there themselves and tell guys that it's mandatory and things like that. But it still always comes down to the actual players wanting to do it for your brother, wanting to do it for the team, and going out there and getting the work in the offseason. Lifting weights. He said it. There's the first thing out of his mouth. Not only take it from me, take it from a defending champion, a team that's been physically dominant for years now, because they take their weight room responsibilities so seriously.
Let me just add something to that. I mean, kind of expand on what you're saying. If your best players are your hardest workers and the guys that want to do it, everybody else falls in line. And we've been very fortunate to have our best players be our hardest workers. And when you have that alpha male that is demanding of everybody else, and when you have multiple guys that are like that, it takes care of itself.
Right. That's big, man. I'm happy to hear that. And it just goes to show that, I played for Coach Paul Pasqualoni at Syracuse. One of his big sayings was, you get out of this game what you put into it. I can't forget about how many times I've heard him say that. And every single time I hear him say it or heard him say it, it made me want to work that much harder, because I saw guys that were ahead of me working that hard and buying into it. So, again, hats off to you guys for saying that. That's a big part, and people needed to hear it. And coming from a team that's so dominant and players, you guys, you 4 guys, that's big stuff, man. I really I like hearing stuff like that, because, like I said, I'm a fan of the game, and having your coach speak about the older guys like that is just, it goes to show what kind of young men you are, and that your nose is to the grind, and you want to win it, you want to do it, and that's what it's about. I'm going to go down the line, starting with the player closest to Coach. Talk about your I'm going to ask a question real quick. Who we got there?
Elliot.
And position, Elliot?
Wide receiver and outside linebacker.
Wide receiver and outside linebacker. Elliot, tell any college coaches that are going to watch this film or this interview, what kind of player they'll get if they gave you a scholarship?
I'd say just a hardworking, dedicated athlete, loves to compete, and just tries to have fun with everything that he does, you know?
That's good stuff. Good stuff.
He's committed to St. Joe's for lacrosse, so as much as I played football in college, he's I guess it's not gonna happen. But
Hey, congrats, man. That's a big deal. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, who we got next? We got Jackson next, right?
Yep.
Jackson, what position?
Wide receiver and corner.
Wide receiver and corner. Different kind of question for you, Jackson. Give me your stats in a perfect game for yourself.
Perfect game.
What are your stats in a really good game for yourself? How many catches? How many yards? How many scores?
Like 6 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns and a win.
That's what I wanted to hear. That last part. None of that other stuff matters. You got the win. Good stuff. I like hearing it. Coaches are going to hear that. Your buddy likes it. Good stuff. QB. I know you want to keep that stat line going with more touchdowns than incompletions. Of course, we're not going to talk about that because you don't care about it, and I like that you don't care about it. Your aspirations to play at the next level. You want to go on and play college football, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Different kind of question for you. If you had a choice, if you had 3 helmets in front of you, they were all to 3 Division I schools, which 3 are they, and which one are you picking up?
All right. I gotta think about this one. I feel like 1 would definitely be Syracuse. 2 would definitely be Ohio State. And 3, I think I would go with Stanford.
All right. We're not going to let you answer the last part of that question because I don't want any of those guys to be upset when you choose one if you get a chance to do that. But you know, we wish you all the best of luck. And of course, keep completing those passes and making and scoring touchdowns. We know the weather's about to change. So just talk to your guys about catching the heavy, wet football so you guys can keep it rolling and keep the coaches from having to go to the ground game. You guys are let me move down the line again. The last player we have there is Elliott, right?
No, Ryan.
Ryan.
Sorry, Ryan. Position, Ryan.
Running back and receiver.
Running back and receiver. So Ryan, the running back position. With you guys throwing the ball like you are, of course, you have to do your job and keeping the quarterback upright and all that good stuff. Just different kind of question for you. Well, same question that Jackson had. Give me your stat line in a really good game for yourself.
Like in my own world?
Yeah, in your own world.
Your own world.
All right.
I feel like we're about to get some crazy numbers right here. Let's hear it.
Before he answers that, can I give you his stat line from the last game?
Yeah.
Defensively, he had 11 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, and a sack, a blocked punt, 80 yards rushing, a touchdown, a 70-yard touchdown catch.
Okay, forget the question. Ooh, you are like the Swiss Army knife out there.
Yes.
Doing what your team expects of you, right? That's just out there making plays. But how about, I mean, I know you guys love your coach. Your coach loves you. How about your coach rattling off your stats from the last game like that by heart? Tell me what that means. That's got to feel good that he pays it. He probably knows everybody sitting there stats like he ran off the stats for Elliott there. But that's huge, man. I like to see that. That's what it's about. Coaches being your number one fan, being there for you, and it just feels good to see what you guys got going on there. But moving forward, you guys are 2-time defending champions, going for number 3. I know it's going to take a lot. You guys got the bullseye on your backs, and you've pretty much handled everybody that you've played so far. But we won't talk about any of the other teams. But I just want to say personally, man, I really appreciate the kind of football that y'all play. We've been able to be on the sidelines for your championship games the last 2 years, and it's really been a sight to see. So just keep going, man. Keep it up. And again, we here at the MJ School, Mo Jackson Speed and Skill School, get some information from you. The doors are always open to you. You want to come and get some work in with me. We do some really good speed training and all that good stuff. So, just look us up. And again, we appreciate you guys taking the time to be here with us. You guys are there supporting your JV team. That's what it's about as well. Coach Welch, hey, man, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
For taking the time.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it a lot.
Thanks. And I'm sure we're going to have you guys back on, probably get some on-field interviews at one of the sectional games, and we'll see you around. Thanks again, fellas.
All right. Good night.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in to the Playmakers Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be on the lookout for the next episode. Playmakers Podcast. #WeWantYou.